Leela felt she deserved more. One evening, while scrolling through her phone, Leela saw pictures of her friends from high school. They seemed to be living the life she wanted. Beautiful clothes, fancy cars, and amazing vacations. She wanted that life more than anything. "Why can't we have more money?" Leela blurted out at dinner. Mr. Roy sighed. "Leela, we do what we can. We work hard. It's not enough," Leela shouted. "I don't want to live in this old house. I want a better life." Miss Yvonne reached out to touch Leela's hand. "We understand, Leela, but this is our life. We must appreciate what we have." Leela pulled her hand away and stood up. "I hate this place. I hate being poor." Once upon a time, in a small community in Jamaica, there lived a humble family in a modest, weathered house. The Davis, known for their warmth and kindness, worked tirelessly to make ends meet, valuing love and integrity over material wealth. Mr. Roy juggled 2 jobs, while Miss Yvonne worked as a chef part-time and baked goods to sell at the local market, all to secure a brighter future for their 2 daughters, Leela and Emily. Despite their limited means, they ensured their home was filled with laughter, stories, and the aroma of home-cooked meals. Leela, the eldest, had grand ambitions and dreams of a glamorous life far beyond their small community. She often spent hours scrolling through social media, yearning for the beautiful clothes, fancy cars, and amazing vacations she saw her peers enjoying. Her desire for a more lavish lifestyle sometimes made her resent her family's humble circumstances, leading to tension and arguments. Leela's focus on her own aspirations often caused her to overlook the sacrifices her parents made and the loving environment they provided. In contrast, Emily, the youngest sister, was hard-working, loving, and kind. She appreciated the simple joys of their family life and admired her parents' dedication and efforts. Emily worked diligently in school and helped her mother with baking, always with a smile and a kind word for everyone. She understood the value of hard work and cherished the support and love they shared as a family. Emily's grounded nature highlighted the stark differences between her and Leela's perspectives, setting the stage for the challenges and lessons that lay ahead for the Davis family. Leela Davis stared at the cracked mirror in her tiny bedroom. The early morning sunlight streamed through the thin curtains, casting a soft glow on her face. She was careful with each stroke of her makeup brush, transforming her features. Her vanity table was cluttered with beauty products she had saved up for months to buy. Today was important. Leela had planned a photo shoot for her social media. Her online persona was far from the reality she lived in, a small, rundown house she shared with her parents and younger sister, Emily. She couldn't stand her surroundings, but for her followers, she was the picture of glamour and success. "Leela, breakfast is ready," her mother called from the kitchen. Leela rolled her eyes. "I'm busy, Mom," she shouted back. Breakfast was the least of her concerns. She had followers to impress and a reputation to build. She finished her makeup and surveyed her work. Perfect. She looked like a star. She grabbed her phone and tripod, heading outside to the small backyard. The dilapidated fence and overgrown weeds were invisible to the lens of her phone. All that mattered was the carefully selected corner with the perfect lighting. As she posed and snapped photos, her mind wandered to her dreams of living in a big city, away from the constant reminder of her family's poverty. She imagined herself in luxurious settings, wearing designer clothes, and attending exclusive parties. She would be someone important, someone people envied. "Leela, are you coming to eat?" Her mother's voice broke through her thoughts again. "Leela, are you coming to eat?" Leela snapped, frustration boiling over. She couldn't understand why her parents didn't get it. They were content with their modest lives, but she wanted more, much more. After what seemed like hours, Leela reviewed her photos. They were perfect. She quickly edited them, adding filters and captions that made her life seem even more glamorous. Satisfied, she posted them, eagerly watching the likes and comments roll in. Her phone buzzed with notifications, each one a small validation of the image she had created. She basked in the admiration of her followers, their envy feeding her desire for more. This was just the beginning. She was determined to escape her current life and become the star she was always meant to be. As the sun set, Leela retreated to her room, ignoring her family's attempts to engage with her. She had a plan, and nothing, not even the people who loved her most, would stand in her way. She lay on her bed, scrolling through her social media feed, dreaming of the day when her reality would match her online persona. Tomorrow was another day, another opportunity to inch closer to the life she craved. For now, the illusion was enough. Leela couldn't help but feel ashamed of her family's situation. Her mother, Miss Yvonne, worked as a cook at a small restaurant. Her father, Mr. Roy, did odd jobs around town. They worked hard, but it was never enough. They lived in a small, run-down house in a quiet Jamaican village. Emily, her younger sister, was sweet and always tried to make Leela smile. But Leela couldn't appreciate it. She resented Emily for being content with their life. Leela felt she deserved more. One evening, while scrolling through her phone, Leela saw pictures of her friends from high school. They seemed to be living the life she wanted. Beautiful clothes, fancy cars, and amazing vacations. She wanted that life more than anything. Why can't we have more money? Leela blurted out at dinner. Mr. Roy sighed. Leela, we do what we can. We work hard. It's not enough. Leela shouted. I don't want to live in this old house. I want a better life. Miss Yvonne reached out to touch Leela's hand. We understand, Leela, but this is our life. We must appreciate what we have. Leela pulled her hand away and stood up. I hate this place. I hate being poor. She stormed out of the house, slamming the door behind her. Leela wandered the streets, thinking about her dreams. She didn't want to be seen as poor anymore. She decided that she would find a way to escape this life and create the glamorous one she deserved. Leela knew she needed to keep up appearances on social media. She borrowed clothes from friends and took pictures in fancy locations. She would edit her photos to make them look even better. Her followers believed she lived a lavish lifestyle. One day, her friend Marsha lent her a designer dress. Leela wore it to the beach and took dozens of pictures. She posted them with captions about a day out in paradise. The likes and comments poured in, boosting her confidence. At home, things were tense. Leela avoided her family as much as possible. She focused on her social media, dreaming of the day she could leave for the city. Where are you going? Emily asked one evening. Where are you going? Leela replied curtly, not wanting to explain. Emily looked hurt but didn't say anything. Leela felt a twinge of guilt but quickly pushed it away. She had to focus on her dreams, no matter what. Leela's resentment towards her family grew. Every day, she felt more trapped in her small village. Her parents tried to talk to her about her attitude, but it always ended in a fight. Leela, we need to talk, Mr. Roy said one evening. Leela, we need to talk. Leela crossed her arms. What do you want me to say? Miss Yvonne tried to stay calm. We know you want more, but you need to appreciate what you have. Leela's anger flared. I can't appreciate this. I want to live in a big city, have a nice house, and wear designer clothes. I want more. Mr. Roy shook his head. Money isn't everything, Leela. Family is important. Leela scoffed. Family? No way. I'm leaving as soon as I can. With that, she stormed out of the house, not looking back. She knew she had to find a way to escape, and soon. Leela often ran away from home. She would stay in cheap hotels, using the little money she earned from her job at a local store. She spent her earnings on fancy clothes and makeup, trying to keep up her glamorous persona online. Her parents worried about her, but Leela didn't care. She felt they were holding her back. She wanted to be free, to live the life she saw on social media. One night, after a particularly nasty fight, Leela packed a small bag and left. She checked into a cheap hotel and spent the night taking photos for her social media. She edited them to look perfect and posted them with captions about her amazing life. Her followers admired her posts, leaving comments about how lucky she was. Leela basked in their envy, feeling a rush of satisfaction. She knew she was on the right path, even if it meant leaving her family behind. Leela decided she had to move to the city. She started saving every penny she earned from her 3 jobs. She worked at the store, cleaned houses, and helped at a local cafe. It was exhausting, but Leela didn't mind. She had a dream, and she was determined to achieve it. Every night, she lay in bed, dreaming of her new life in the city. She imagined herself in a beautiful apartment, attending fancy parties, and wearing designer clothes. She knew she was meant for more. Her family noticed her distance but didn't know how to reach her. Leela's mind was set. She was going to escape, and nothing would stop her. The day finally came. Leela had saved enough money to move to the city. She packed her bags and left a note for her family. In it, she wrote that she was leaving because they were an embarrassment to her dreams. She didn't wait for their reaction. She was done with them. As she boarded the bus to the city, Leela felt a mix of excitement and relief. She was finally free. She looked out the window, watching her small village fade into the distance. She promised herself she would never return. In the city, Leela rented a small apartment. It wasn't much, but it was a start. She found a job at a boutique and quickly immersed herself in the city's glamorous lifestyle. She was determined to make her dreams come true. Leela loved the city. The lights, the noise, the endless possibilities. It was everything she had dreamed of. She worked hard at the boutique, but it wasn't enough to support her online persona. She needed more money to keep up appearances. One night, while scrolling through her social media feed, Leela saw an ad for a high-end escort service. The women in the ad looked glamorous and happy. Leela hesitated for a moment, then decided to call the number. She needed the money, and this seemed like the perfect solution. Leela's first client was a wealthy businessman named Mr. Johnson. He took her to a fancy restaurant and treated her like a queen. Leela was nervous at first, but she quickly got used to the attention and the luxury. Mr. Johnson paid her handsomely, and Leela felt a rush of excitement as she counted the money. When she got home, she took pictures of the expensive food and the fancy restaurant, posting them on social media. Her followers were amazed, and the likes and comments poured in. Leela felt validated. This was the life she wanted. Leela continued to see clients, earning more money than she ever had before. She quit her job at the boutique to focus full-time on her new lifestyle. She bought designer clothes, expensive makeup, and luxurious accessories. Her social media presence skyrocketed, and she basked in the admiration of her followers. But as her online persona grew, Leela's real life became more complicated. She had to keep her double life a secret from everyone, including her new friends in the city. She felt isolated, but she convinced herself it was worth it. One day, Leela was contacted by a particularly wealthy client, Mr. Thompson. He invited her to his mansion, and Leela was awestruck by the opulence. The mansion was filled with expensive art, luxurious furniture, and a stunning view of the city. After spending the night with Mr. Thompson, he paid her a whopping $5 million. Leela was in shock. She had never seen so much money in her life. Mr. Thompson smiled and told her she deserved it for making him happy. Leela thanked him and left, feeling like she was on top of the world. She immediately started snapping photos inside the luxury car Mr. Thompson had sent to take her home. She posted them on social media with captions about her successful trip, and her followers were once again amazed. With the $5 million she received from Mr. Thompson, Leela decided to upgrade her living situation. She went to a real estate agency and looked at several luxurious apartments. She chose one that she felt matched her new status and moved in 2 weeks later. She decorated the apartment with expensive furniture and art, making it look like the home of a true socialite. Leela felt like she had finally made it. She hosted parties and posted pictures of her new apartment on social media, continuing to build her glamorous image. But despite her outward success, Leela felt a growing emptiness inside. She was living a lie, and it was becoming harder to ignore. She pushed these feelings aside, focusing on her next big social media post or her next client. Over time, Leela began to notice that she was feeling increasingly tired and weak after her visits with Mr. Thompson. She tried to ignore it, attributing it to the stress of maintaining her lifestyle. She hired a cook and housekeeper to take care of her apartment, hoping that eating well and having help would make her feel better. But despite eating well and getting enough rest, Leela continued to lose weight and feel weaker. She brushed it off, determined to maintain her glamorous image at any cost. One night, Leela attended a high-profile party. She was excited to show off her latest designer dress and mingle with the city's elite. As she made her way through the crowd, she saw one of her former clients, Mr. Richards. Mr. Richards looked shocked when he saw Leela. "Leela, is that you? You look so thin. Are you okay?" he asked. Leela forced a smile. "I'm fine, Mr. Richards. Just trying a new look," she lied. If you enjoyed part 1 of this story, be sure to stick around for part 2 as we dive deeper into the lives of Leela, Emily, and their family. Watch this intriguing story continue to unfold with surprising twists and heartfelt moments. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you'll be notified as soon as part 2 drops. Stay tuned.